So you want to be a beekeeper? Well, let's talk about that. It was April of 2013 when I got my first 2 colonies. And it was right here at this spot, the farm where I grew up. I pulled over there where the truck is, walked those first 2 colonies across the drive, and placed them right here on a couple of these cinder block hive stands here. And I have been obsessed ever since. But I really had no idea what I was doing. I started researching on a Monday or Tuesday night and had my bees by Saturday. There are a lot of things I wish I had known before I started keeping bees, and that's what this video is about. I'd appreciate if you go down below and hit the like button to push this video out to more people and help grow the channel. So now we're going to discuss 5 things that I wish I had known before I started keeping bees. Number 1, find a mentor. Critically important. Now when I say a mentor, I don't just mean someone that's going to be able to get in your hives with you and help you look through the hives locally, but I'm also talking about friends just in the beekeeping world. People who may not be an official quote-unquote mentor, but friends who keep bees that you can bounce ideas off of, that you can discuss bees with, that you can figure out what's going on in their hives and in your hives, that you can compare and you can learn together. You can help encourage each other. You can help each other understand what's going on, and you can learn together. It's so important. So I've had a lot of great mentors / friends, both local and honestly in other parts of the country and world as well. David, Davis, Rusty, Tim, Greg, Cayman, Ian, Bob, Ted, Mike, just to name a few. My initial mentor, his name was David, and he helped me get through the initial discouragements and lack of knowledge. And then I also refer to YouTubers such as Cayman Reynolds, Ian Stepler, Bob Benny, Mike Berry down there in Louisiana, JP the Bee Man, and the list goes on and on and on. There's no way I can name them all here. So these people, both local and across the country and across the world, have helped me in my beekeeping adventure, and I think it's critically important that you have a mentor. Rule number 2, there are many different methods for keeping bees. There is a rule in beekeeping that if you ask a beekeeper 5 different questions, you'll get 10 different answers, and that is so true. Why is that the case? Because there are just simply a lot of ways to keep bees successfully. So if you watch a how-to video or if you read a book, just understand that there are different ways to do it, and that is not the only way to do it. Well, first of all, bees are quite adaptable. And depending upon your goals and your methods, the bees will usually adapt as long as you're not doing anything dangerous for the bees. And they can help you achieve your goals. Another reason that there are so many different methods is because people have different goals. Some people want to make a lot of honey. Some people just want a hive or 2 to pollinate their garden. Some people want to make queens and sell queens. Some people just want to sell bees, or some people just want to grow their operation. Some people want to send bees off for pollination or move them around to different places. Each of those different goals and many others requires different management of the bees. Even if you have the exact same goals as somebody else, you may find that different techniques work better for you. And so you just cannot get discouraged or frustrated when people give you different advice and suggest different things to do. What I like to do is gather that information and try it with my bees and see what works best for me, and then I'll roll with it. And I think if you're willing to do that, or if you're willing to keep an open mind and learn different methods and try them, then beekeeping might just be for you. Number 3, be willing to feed and treat your bees, at least at first. Mice and beetles can absolutely be devastating to your bees. Also, if your bees don't have proper nutrition, they can starve or become sick and die as well. It's important to do this. It's important to do whatever you can to help give the bees the best chance of survival. If you think about it, farmers with livestock, they feed their animals what they need, and they treat them for any types of pests or diseases that they have. And in my opinion, bees are no different. I realize there are treatment-free beekeepers out there, but many times they have had to suffer years of loss and really develop that skill to be successful. Just be humble and willing to learn, and be willing to do whatever it takes to help your bees thrive, and I think you'll be a successful beekeeper. Number 4, it can be addictive. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad, depending on how you look at it. You may start out with just a couple of colonies like I did, and then be so hooked on it you just can't stop. You may end up with 20 hives, 40 hives, 100, 200, or honestly, the sky's the limit. just depending on what you want to do and how far you want to take it. As the bees multiply, so does the equipment, the cost, the energy, the time, the skill, everything involved has to increase in order to maintain the growth. Beekeeping is an addiction? Absolutely. I guess it could be worse. Last but not least, number 5, beekeeping is a commitment. You need to be all in and determined to succeed and do what it takes to learn and grow. Beekeeping is hard work, very physically taxing at times when it's hot outside, when you're carrying the honey boxes around, extracting the honey. Just so many of the things you do are very physical. It's also mentally taxing. It can wear you down thinking about what to do. And there's a huge learning curve at first when you get into beekeeping. So many things to learn, so many different ways to do it. And it just takes time and energy to figure out what you want to do. Beekeeping can be painful. You get stung, it hurts. Just know that's probably going to happen. So get ready. It can also be very discouraging because you're going to lose some hives here or there. It can be very frustrating and difficult to deal with sometimes, especially as a new beekeeper when you don't have very many bees. Very tough to deal with that. But just know it happens and just don't give up. You got to keep trying and just stick some more bees in those boxes and see what happens. Ultimately, if you work hard enough at it, if you learn, if you're humble, if you're willing to grow, you will succeed. If these things make sense to you, and if you're still interested in beekeeping, maybe it's time you got started. But don't forget, it's important to surround yourself with mentors and friends who can help you along the way. It's also important to know there are many different methods of doing things, many different ways to accomplish similar goals. Please feed and treat your bees as you need to. Learn how to do that, develop that skill, and beekeeping can absolutely be addictive. I know I'm addicted to it. Beekeeping is a huge commitment. It's difficult, it's tough, and sometimes it can be frustrating. It's very hard, but most things worth doing are hard. So if you have any thoughts, ideas, or suggestions, I'd appreciate if you put it down in the comment section below. That's it for now. Y'all take care, be safe, and we'll catch you on the next one.